It's unclear whether four-time World 100 meters champion Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will face the starter in that event at the Jamaican Championships in Kingston from June 23 to 26. If she does run in the short sprint, Fraser-Pryce would meet Olympic champion Leighton Thompson-Herah for the first time this season. Speaking to reporters last month, Fraser-Pryce had committed to doing the sprint double at trials, but she appeared to waver on that commitment in the build-up to last Saturday's Diamond League outing in Paris, saying she will definitely run the 200 at the Jamaican trials, but didn't make the same commitment for the 100. Her fans need not be worried, though, as by virtue of being the reigning world champion, she, Fraser-Pryce, would get a bye into the 100 meters at the World Championships in Eugene, Oregon from July 15 to 24. At age 35, Fraser-Pryce, who became the oldest woman to win a World or Olympic 100 meters title in 2019, consolidated her favorite tag ahead of the Oregon extravaganza with a superb showing in Paris on Saturday.
Cleanly away. Brilliant start there from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Now we're right and into her running. Also going well is Nita in second. Talu being pushed up for third. Let's keep an eye on the clock. Oh my word! 10:66. Shelly-Ann is back in Paris. She's beaten her own world lead by 100th of a second. She's had over a month off. She comes back fresh. It's a new meeting record, and that's a little warning shot over the bows of Leighton Thompson-Herah. Thompson-Herah ran 10:72 here last year on this very track. Fast forward 12 months, and it's Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce saying, hang on, Elaine, I've got this. I'm here now. 10:67, brilliant start, excellent execution, and a superb second place for Daryl Nita in a high-quality field. But goodness me, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce back to winning ways in Paris.
Saturday's performance brings Fraser-Pryce level with Thompson-Herah for the most performances under 10.70 seconds in the history of women's sprinting. Both women have done so 4 times. Fraser-Pryce twice last year in Kingston and Lausanne, and now twice this season in Nairobi and Paris. All 4 of Thompson-Herah's sub-1070 performances came in 2021 at the Tokyo Olympics, then in Eugene, as well as Zurich and Lausanne. Our in-house track and field analyst Leighton Levy joins us. Leighton, of course, is senior writer with SportsMax.tv. She continues to create history, Leighton. If we start, though, with Saturday's pre-race statements, what are you picking up about whether she'll run the 100 at the Jamaican Championships this week?
Based on what she said and based on what we saw on Saturday, George, I think she's going to probably focus on the 200. Earlier this season, she gave an indication of what she wanted to accomplish, running 10.5, possibly 10.4. But she was also cautious while explaining that because she's 35 years old, you won't necessarily see her run as many races as she ran previously or in previous seasons. So far, Saturday was her second 100. She's had 2 200s as well. That's 4 races. I think when you look at what is ahead of her at the national championships, I think she'll focus on the 200. I'd be surprised, actually, if she ends up running the 100. And if she does, I don't see her going past the preliminary round or perhaps the semi-final, just to get probably a little bit more race sharp, because the World Championships are going to be 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks after the national championships. And I don't think she needs much more work based on what we saw on Saturday. And given the fact that she hasn't even started to taper yet, I think she's in a very good place. So I think she'll probably just run the 200s and save herself for the big show 2 weeks later.
It wouldn't be weird, though, or out of keeping with her own preparation, to see her run the prelims of the 100 and, if as expected, qualify for the 100 and then not show for the final. That could be on the cards as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I just said. I think she'll probably run the preliminary round or go to the semifinals and then not contest the final because she doesn't need to. And I think her primary focus right now is the 200 because she's considering the double. She probably wants to see where she is over the 200. So if she runs a good time over the 200, maybe we'll see her, because she does admit that it's hard doing the sprint double, and especially at 35. She'll probably test herself over the 200 against Sharika and against Brenna Williams and Leighton Thompson-Herah. see where she's at, and then make a decision from there whether or not she'll do the double.
The thing about being Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce or Elaine Thompson-Herah is that unlike most athletes who are preparing and going for a medal hunt, these ladies are going to hunt gold. And with that as a base of the question, here's this, Leighton. So I've been looking at her outdoor progression over 200 meters since 2002. And what I've noticed is there are 15 times listed here for her in terms of years fastest times, 02, 04, 07, etc., etc. 11 of those fastest annual times by Fraser-Pryce have been done in Kingston. 11 of 15. So that suggests that she runs well, she runs her fastest at trials or up to trials, but at the major championships, she doesn't produce her fastest 200 meters there. We know that given the quality of the competition, especially where Elaine Thompson-Herah is concerned, she probably is going to have to go a season's best to get the gold medal in the 200 meters. Is there enough to read into this trend of 11 fastest yearly 200 meters times being done in Kingston, and that it suggests strongly that she doesn't produce her fastest 200 meters at major championships? And what, if anything, does that say about what she's likely to do at the major championship?
That's a very interesting question, George, but primarily because I think when she won in Moscow in 2013, I think that was her fastest time that year. I'm trying to remember, it was at 22:09 was her fastest time that year. And of course, the Olympics in
2013, it was 22.13 in Kingston. That was the fastest time for her for the year.
Yeah, okay, fine, good. So, I think a lot will depend on, you see, one of the things that we know about Shelly is that she's driven, huh? And the fact that she didn't medal in Tokyo last year, finishing 4th, would have been rubbing her the wrong way because she wants to be a good 200-meter runner. And 21:79 suggests that potentially she is, but she has to bring that to the table. She's won 1 gold and 1 silver in international competition in the 200s. So I think if she runs 21 again, and given what we've seen from her, it's very possible. 10:67 twice now. I mean, she's the only woman to have her first 2 races under 10:7 in history. I think a lot will depend on, how far she goes at the national championships, and I think that will determine where she goes from there, going into Oregon. Primarily because the depth that we saw last year is not there this year. Mboma is out for the rest of the season. Aviana Battle and a couple of others are not where they were last year this time. So the field is a lot less deep. It's a lot more shallow, and it probably gives her a better opportunity to end up on the podium in Oregon if she chooses to run. But I think that decision will come down to what she does in couple of days before, just at the end of this week, and then how she feels after doing that. Because I think she's pretty fine with the 100. But in terms of the 200, that trend, George, that you just mentioned, I don't think will play much of a role in it. I think it'll come down to how she feels after she runs the 200s at the national championships, and whether she feels that time and those performances, based on her the physical drain that it takes on her, whether or not she wants to take that into Oregon.
Yeah, Leighton, I think I agree with you about her being likely to miss the 100 at the Nationals. But talk to us about the preparation for the World Championship, because the space between the World Championship and the National Championship in Jamaica is tighter than it was last year between the Nationals and the Tokyo Olympic Games, which didn't start until the end of July. Does that impact any at all on how Shelly approaches the trials this week, given that the World Championship is a lot closer to the Nationals than the Olympics were last year?
I think it will have an impact, Lance, in that she's run 10:67 twice now. And you have to consider that she's not tapered yet, meaning that I don't think any of our major athletes in major events at this weekend's trials will be at peak. They will be approaching peak, because I think the window of time between the national championships and Oregon is so small. It's probably the smallest window they've ever been in terms of a national championship and the championships. So I think what we'll see is that most of them will start to taper after the national championships, and that includes Shelly in both 100 and the 200, depending on, no matter what she decides to do, whether she decides to double or not. I think we'll start to see them taper sometime a week after the national championships, going into Oregon, 7 to 10 days, where they'll taper to be at their best in Oregon, using as well the preliminary rounds to get that kind of sharpness, preparing for finals in Oregon, where they'll be at their best. So I think I think what we'll see with Fraser-Pryce at the weekend is a performance in whichever event that she goes, but that will be within the wheelhouse of what we've seen from her so far this year. Enough to win, but not necessarily close to where she's going to be in 2.5 to 3 weeks after that.
Yeah, and quickly before you go, Leighton, I heard her pre-Paris suggesting that she wants to emulate what she did in Kenya. She wants to run like a similar time. It turns out that she did exactly that. Gives you the feeling that Shelly-Ann, based on her experience, knows exactly where she's at, knows exactly what she is prepared to do, and like in a very clinical way. And I think a lot of eyes are on herself and Elaine Thompson-Herah because they have left MVP and now have different coaching setups. Evidence to me, I don't know if you agree, that Shelly-Ann knows exactly what she needs to do and her coaching staff.
She's perfected or close to perfecting the 100 meters right now, Lance. We saw the 10.67 that she ran in Kenya. The adjusted came out to 10.709. The race on Saturday was 10.703. She means her technical proficiency is at a level right now where she can run this time in her sleep. Her performance, they look at the last 40, where she used to lean forward, where she used to stretch for the line. Now she's upright, she's more relaxed, she's striding, her cadence hasn't changed that much, and she's literally running towards the line, actually running through the line now. She's at a level right now in the 100 where we've never seen anyone except perhaps Elaine Thompson get to this level of proficiency. And I think that makes her dangerous this year because prior to this, Elaine Thompson used to chase her to catch her. Sorry.
Yeah, Leighton. this is our last lap, so you're wrapping up now anyway.
No, the onus is on Elaine to catch her.
Yes.
When she's at maximum speed, which is going to be absolutely awesome.
All right, Leighton, we're gonna leave it there. We'll talk again soon. Yeah. So a lot of interest coming up this weekend in the Nationals, George, and the fact that the Jamaican talent pool in the women's sprinting is so wide, and a lot of eyes also on Shericka Jackson as a potential threat to both Thompson-Herah and Fraser-Pryce.
Yeah, well, look, Jamaica has two super women. There's no argument about that. And then there's a superwoman in the vestibule waiting to walk through the doors and come in, Shericka Jackson. Then there's a youngster, Brianna Williams, who is right in their slipstream as well. It's fantastic. Look, it's all about management from here. Fraser-Pryce, the records show, has never been this fast over the 100 meters, this early in any season in her career. Never been 10.67 at this stage of the campaign. Never. So all you have to do from now on, and it's easy to explain, it's easy to articulate, but very difficult to do, is just to manage this woman from here and hope that no injuries to disrupt any training. And if she stays nice from here on into the major championships, she's going there to kill people in terms of competition. Thompson-Herah is also catching birds, Lance. So that's why I'm saying the two super women are shaping up for a monumental clash. Yeah. And if mistakes are made, Jackson, Williams are there. Yeah. And it's a wonderful feeling to be in a country with this kind of talent. This part of the world region, the Caribbean, rich with talent.
Yeah, no question about it. A lot of fans anticipating a clash this week, but we strongly suspect that Shelly-Ann will not run the 100. She'll probably just run the 200, but we'll wait and see. That comes up later on this week at the National Stadium in Kingston. We go to break. When we return, George has the second set of zone updates.
Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay informed.